What do you do when someone publicly challenges your life's work in front of hundreds of strangers? Most people argue. Some walk away. Bruce Lee did neither. Los Angeles International Airport, 1973. A man wearing a white judo gi, black belt tied tight around his waist, stands in the middle of a crowded terminal and says something loud enough for everyone to hear. Kung Fu is fake. People turn their heads. Conversations stop. The words hang in the air, sharp and deliberate. Bruce Lee is sitting nearby alone, reading quietly. No entourage, no cameras, no performance. Just a man waiting for his flight. The judo black belt keeps talking. Louder now, confident, certain. He says Kung Fu is useless against real combat. Says it wouldn't last 10 seconds against a trained judoka. Says it's just movie fighting, dancing. Hundreds of strangers are watching. This is the moment most people lose control. This is where ego steps forward. This is where arguments begin. Bruce Lee closes his book. He doesn't argue. He doesn't insult. He doesn't explain. He simply stands up. 7 seconds later. The entire terminal understands something they will never forget. Real power doesn't announce itself. And the loudest voice in the room is rarely the strongest. But to understand why Bruce responded the way he did, why he chose silence over words, and how a single moment rewrote a man's worldview, we have to rewind back to the exact place, the exact time, and the exact moment before everything changed. Los Angeles International Airport, Terminal 3, March 15, 1973. Friday afternoon, 30:30 p.m. The terminal is alive in the way only airports are, loud without being chaotic, busy without directions. Spring break season. Every seat is claimed. Families crowd together with restless children running between rows of connected plastic chairs. Business travelers in dark suits fold newspapers with mechanical precision. College students sprawl across the carpet, backpacks under their heads, shoes kicked off like they've surrendered to the weight. The air is a mixture no one forgets once they've smelled it. Burnt coffee from the concession stand, jet fuel drifting in from the tarmac, recycled air layered with industrial carpet cleaner. Overhead, the PA system crackles constantly, urgent and boring at the same time. American Airlines flight to San Francisco now boarding at Gate 24. Pan Am flight to Tokyo delayed 2 hours. Normal Friday airport chaos. Near Gate 27, slightly off to the side, Bruce Lee sits alone. Not surrounded, not noticed. Dark slacks. A black turtleneck. A leather jacket draped over the chair beside him. A small carry-on bag at his feet. Reading glasses perched on his face. Something most people have never seen him wear. They make him look less like a movie star and more like a professor. He's reading. Not a novel, not a magazine, a manuscript. His own work, notes, ideas, observations. Pages filled with handwriting in the margins. Concepts still forming. A philosophy still evolving. This isn't a celebrity killing time. This is a man refining something unfinished. Bruce is 32 years old. 5'7", 135 pounds, compact, efficient, nothing excess. Every ounce of him functional. He trained before sunrise that morning. Ran miles, hit the heavy bag, worked sensitivity drills with a training partner. His knuckles are still slightly swollen. His lower back aches from flexibility work. But his mind is clear, calm, focused, absorbed in the page. Around him, no one is paying attention. That's how airports work. Everyone exists inside their own bubble. No one looks up unless something breaks the rhythm, and then something does. A man walks into the gate area. He's tall, 6'2", broad shoulders, around 210 pounds, Asian American, late 20s. He's wearing a white judo gi in public, black belt tied firmly at his waists. The belt is worn, frayed at the edges, not decorative. This isn't a costume. This is someone who's put in years of work. A gym bag hangs from his shoulder. His hair is still damp with sweat. He stops. Freezes mid-step. His eyes lock onto Bruce Lee. Recognition hits immediately. Not excitement. Not admiration. Something tighter, harder. His jaw sets. His shoulders squares. He shifts the bag to his other shoulder and changes direction. He walks straight toward Bruce. People start to notice. The energy in the gate area shifts in a way that's almost physical. Conversations quiet. Heads turns. There's something about a man moving with purpose that makes strangers pay attention. The man stops 5 feet in front of Bruce. He doesn't speak right away, just stands there, looming, waiting to be noticed. Bruce feels him before he sees him. Years of training have made awareness automatic. Even while reading, part of Bruce's attention is always scanning. He senses someone standing too close. Intentionally close. He looks up slowly, removes his reading glasses, sets them carefully on the manuscript. His face is neutral, calm, not irritated, not defensive, just present. The man speaks loud enough for everyone nearby to hear. "You're Bruce Lee." Not a question, an accusation. Bruce nods once. That's right. And just like that, the quiet airport gate becomes a stage. What happens next will unfold in seconds, but the tension, the pride, the fear driving it has been building for years. The man doesn't smile. That's the first thing people notice. He stands 5 feet in front of Bruce Lee, wearing a white judo gi that looks completely out of place in an airport terminal. The black belt around his waist is worn and frayed, not decorative, not new. This isn't a costume. This is a uniform earned through years of punishment. He's tall, 6'2", solid, around 210 pounds. Late 20s. Built like someone who's been thrown to the floor thousands of times and learned how to get back up every single time. This is not a fan. This is a believer. His name is Robert Chen, 6th-degree black belt. 15 years of judo, national competitions, regional championships. Instructor at a dojo in West Los Angeles. Real credentials, real skill. The kind of man who has structured his entire identity around one art, one system, one truth. And now that truth is standing in front of him, reading quietly. Robert looks down at Bruce Lee and feels something tighten in his chest. Not hatred, threats. Because Bruce Lee represents everything that makes men like Robert uncomfortable. A man who mixes styles, breaks tradition, refuses to bow to hierarchies. A man who says effectiveness matters more than lineage. Who tells students to absorb what is useful and reject what is useless. To someone like Robert, that philosophy isn't just controversial. It's dangerous. Because if Bruce is right, then maybe 15 years of discipline, sacrifice, bruises, and belief were built on something incomplete. And that thought is unbearable. So Robert does what insecure certainty always does. He goes on offense. "I've seen your movies," he says, loud enough for everyone around to hear. "The Green Hornet. Your demonstrations." People stop pretending not to watch. Bruce says nothing. "Kung Fu is useless," Robert continues. Louder now. "Against real martial arts, judo, wrestling, real combat. It's just dancing. Movie fighting. It wouldn't last 10 seconds against a real judoka." The words land like a slap. 50 people are now fully engaged. No phones. This is 1973. No recording, just witnesses, real ones. The kind who will tell the story differently tomorrow and wildly by next week. Bruce Lee doesn't react. He doesn't argue. He doesn't smile. He looks at Robert the way a surgeon looks at an X-ray. And in that moment, Bruce sees everything. He sees the fear underneath the confidence, the rigidity beneath the skill, the way Robert subtly shifts his weights, the judoka's habit of preparing even while talking. He sees a man who isn't here to learn. He's here to validate himself. Bruce could explain. He could say he respects judo, that grappling is essential, that his own system includes wrestling and throws, that he's never said kung fu is superior, only that no single system is complete. But Bruce understands something Robert doesn't. Words won't reach a man whose ego is performing for an audience. Robert doesn't want truth. He wants a verdict. Bruce Lee lets the silence stretch. Then he does something that confuses everyone watching. He closes his book, slowly, carefully, as if this moment deserves respect. He sets it on the chair beside him. He stands up. No aggression, no flares, just standing. Meeting Robert at eye level, or as close as a 5'7" man can get to a 6'2". And then Bruce speaks, quietly, calmly, clearly. Show me. The terminal seems to inhale. Robert blinks. What? Show me that kung fu won't work against judo. It's not a challenge. It's an invitation. And that is far more dangerous. A businessman nearby mutters nervously. Hey, maybe this isn't the place. Bruce raises one hand. Gentle, controlled. It's okay, he says. We're just having a discussion. No one will get hurt. The confidence in his voice doesn't come from arrogance. It comes from certainty. Robert hesitates. Just a fraction of a second. Then pride takes control. He sets his gym bag down. People move back instinctively, forming a loose circle. Excitement and fear mix in the air. A grandmother pulls her grandson closer. A security guard 2 gates away notices the disturbance and starts walking over, but he's too far. Whatever is about to happen will be over before authority arrives. Robert steps into the open space. He drops into a perfect judo stance. Feet planted, knees bent, hands ready. 15 years of muscle memory activated. He looks powerful, prepared, ready to prove something. Bruce Lee does not take a stance. He stands naturally, hands relaxed, breathing calm, like a man still waiting for his flight. And that, more than anything else, infuriates Robert, because what comes next will not be a debate. It will be a lesson. The space between them feels larger than it is. 50 strangers stand in a loose circle, instinctively stepping back. No one says a word. Even the PA system seems to pause between announcements, as if the building itself is waiting. Robert drops into his judo stance, feet shoulder-width apart, knees bent, hands raised, textbook posture, 15 years of repetition settling into muscle memories. He looks exactly like what he is, a trained fighter prepared to impose structure, grips, rules. Bruce Lee does not mirror him. He doesn't raise his hands. He doesn't shift into a fighting pose. He stands the way he always stands, balanced, relaxed, presence. That calm ignites Robert's irritation. Put your hands up, Robert snaps. Bruce shakes his head, almost gently. I don't need to. Then you'll lose. Bruce meets his eyes. Show me. Robert moves. Fast. 15 years of training compress into instincts. 2 quick steps close the distance. His right hand shoots forward for the lapel, automatic, drilled thousands of times. Control the G. Set the throats. End the exchange. But there is no G. Bruce's left hand intercepts the wrist mid-motion, Not blocking, not reacting late, but cutting the action off before it fully forms. His grip is precise, calm, almost polite. Second one. Robert tries to pull back, resets. Bruce's right hand taps the inner elbow, not hard, not violent. A pressure point. The arm hyperextends involuntarily. The grip collapses. Second two. Bruce steps off the center line. Not backward, offline. Robert's momentum carries him into empty space. His balance shifts forward at exactly the wrong moment. Second three. Bruce's right foot sweeps Robert's lead leg. Simple. Fundamental. The kind of movement taught to beginners. But timing is everything, and the timing is perfect. Second four. Robert's base disappears. Training takes over. He knows how to fall, chin tucked. Body ready. But Bruce doesn't let gravity decide the outcome. One hand controls the wrists. The other guides the shoulder. Second five. Robert hits the carpet flat on his back. Not slammed. Not injured. Controlled. Bruce's knee settles on Robert's chest, not crushing, just enough to establish position. One hand pins the wrists. The other hovers near the throat without touching. Second six. Bruce leans in slightly and speaks quietly, so quietly only Robert hears. Do you tap? Second seven. Robert stares up at the ceiling, not in pain, in shocks. 15 years of certainty has just collapsed in less time than it takes to tie a belt. The terminal is frozen. A man halfway through sitting down stays suspended. A woman holds a coffee cup inches from her lips. Children stop moving. No one breathes. The security guard finally arrives and reaches for his radio, then stops. Bruce releases the wrist immediately. Steps back. Hands open. None threatening. The fight is already over. Robert stays on the floor for a moment, staring upward, trying to understand what just happened to his world. Bruce extends his hand. No mockery, no victory. Just help. Robert takes it. His legs shake as he stands, not from exhaustion, but from realizations. The guard asks, "What's going on here?" Bruce answers calmly, "We were having a discussion." He wanted a demonstration. No one's hurt. The guard looks at Robert. Robert nods. Slowly, still searching for words. The guard warns them and walks away. Bruce picks up his jacket, sits back down, puts on his reading glasses, opens his manuscript as if nothing happened. Robert stands there, holding himself together. After a moment, he sits a chair away. Silence. Then Robert finally speaks. "How?" Bruce looks up. "How what?" "I've trained 15 years, Robert says. "I did everything right." Bruce closes the book. "You did," he says. "For Judo." Robert bristles. "Don't patronize me." "I'm not," Bruce replies calmly. "Your stance was correct. Your entry was fast. Your technique was clean. Then why?" "Because you fought with rules," Bruce says. "You grabbed for a gi that wasn't there. You needed structure. I didn't give you any." Robert is quiet. "Every art has limits," Bruce continues. "That's not weakness. That's truth. The danger is confusing the art with yourself." The PA system crackles. Pan Am Flight 742 to Hong Kong now boarding at Gate 27. Bruce stands. Robert stands with him. "Can I train with you?" Bruce studies him for a moment, then pulls out a card and writes on the back. "My school. Tuesday and Thursdays. Come if you're serious. But leave your belt at the door." Robert nods. Bruce walks toward the gate. People part instinctively to let him pass. Robert watches him go, holding the card. 7 seconds of movement. A lifetime of change. That day, Bruce Lee didn't win a fight. He dismantled certainty and then offered a path forward. That is the difference between proving someone wrong and helping them evolve.